Hi, State Representative Kurt Vail here, representing the towns of Summer, Stafford, Union, and Woodstock. And we're here this weekend, on this beautiful weekend, at Stafford Motor Speedway, where we're going to go behind the veil. Hey, I'm here with Charles Lewandowski, Stafford High School class of 2003, former Nationwide Series driver, had a lot of success locally. And what are you up to now? What are you up to these days?
Well, to pursue my driving career, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina area in the mid-2000s and was lucky enough to race for a living for several years. And I started a business, Child Loop Performance, in Mooresville, just north of Charlotte, where the race teams are. And we basically supply race parts to all the race teams. Obviously, the NASCAR teams in that area are a core customer base, but we obviously do a lot here. We ship a lot up northeast and really worldwide. But yeah, it's going very well. And someone asked, you're not driving anymore, and I said, well, I'm not, but I'm in deeper than I ever have with racing. So came up to visit family, and Spring Sizzler.
Absolutely. Greatest race in the history of spring.
Yes, it is.
Do you get the itch being around it so much? Is it tough to be around it without actually getting in there?
Yeah, it's getting a little easier. But Butch over there, who works with Todd Owen and is involved in the Chassis Pro cars, he asked me just an hour ago, and I do. I would love to race here. If I lived closer, it would be hard for me not to race here. It's a little easier being farther away, but I love watching every Friday night. They have great coverage on the Flow streaming service, so I make an effort to watch. But yeah, I miss it, absolutely.
Now, again, so now you're from the Northeast, you understand racing up here, and now you live in race country.
Yeah.
How do we compare up here in the Northeast?
I would say, it is different, but you got to remember there's a lot of Northeast guys down there. So, just Stafford alone, you got Paul Clapperud, who's a Xfinity Series crew chief. You have Donnie Tarantino, who's, shop foreman, runs day-to-day operations at Junior Motorsports. Peter Jellin, who's always been heavily involved. He's with Spire's truck team. There's a group of us just from Stafford, Irvine, Connecticut, Northeast. So, short track wise, Stafford the speedway here there's first class, and it's going to be tough to compete with this place. But there's good racing everywhere. But Stafford on a weekly basis, facility wise, depth of fields and divisions, is pretty much #1 in the country.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And Peter Jellin was actually my neighbor growing up.
Oh, that's okay.
He was a few years old. Used to keep me in line pretty good. So, hey, Chalu, it's great to see you again, man. Continued success.
Thank you.
Hey, we're here with our old friend Todd Owen. Todd, it's a Spring Sizzler, big weekend. How's the track feeling out there?
It's good. It's got a lot of speed, a lot of grip early on in the year. That's how the track is. Stafford's done an amazing job getting this place tip-top, beautiful looking. So can't wait for see how the weekend plays out.
Absolutely does. So you qualify now. You do that. When you prepare your car for day racing, different weather conditions, hot or cold, what type of adjustments do you make?
Well, there's a lot of different changes. Obviously, the track today, the more we run, the more rubber we get on, put down, the tighter the track gets. So we'll have to keep, working with the track and see how it goes. And that's the fun part of this game. You just keep trying to make your car better and hopefully make the right adjustments.
Absolutely. Well, it's awesome to talk to you again, and hope you win this week.
Thanks you so much.
We're here with General Manager David Arute. Not only is he the General Manager, but he also races here. So how's the field this weekend? Is it better, same than usual?
Yeah, overall the weekend, it just feels great to get back racing again, and it's beautiful weather out, which we are very grateful for. In years past, it's been cold or rainy, so this weather, you can't ask for anything better. overall, the cars themselves, they're driving well, but we're just excited to get back to racing back in Stafford, Connecticut, wake up the town a little bit, and have all the fans come out to enjoy some great weather and great racing on track.
It definitely wakes up the town. You know, I grew up here and not too far from here and live close now, but how's the car looking? Big field today. So what races, what's the weekend look like? You have modified, SK modifieds. What other divisions you have running this weekend?
Yeah, so it's a 2-day show. Today we have the open modified duels, which is the qualifying race for the Sizzler tomorrow. We have the late models, limited late models, and street stocks as well today. So they all qualify and run their features. Then tomorrow is the Sizzler 100-lap race, SK modifieds, and SK lights. So we have a full field of divisions both days, and it's looking like we're going to have quite a few cars. There's a lot here today. Going to be much more tomorrow, which is very exciting.
It is exciting. I love this time of year. You can't smell, you can hear it, but the smell of rubber, it just gets you in the mood. So hope you have a great season and a great weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Hey, we're here with the Sultan of Stafford, my good friend, Woody Pitkat. Woody, I remember when you started, you really worked your way up when you were young. You've been in this a long time. It's a family thing. Can you talk a little about where you started and where you've come to now?
Yeah, so, way back, both my uncles were racing dirt up in Lebanon Valley up in New York. That was when I was just, in diapers. And then obviously living 7 minutes away from the track. Growing up, where else are you going to do on a Friday night is to go to Stafford Speedway. So once I got old enough to drive, and I wanted to be here, another fellow Stafford, Ryan Pisacco, used to race. I used to chase him around until I was old enough to drive. And then once I was old enough, I started racing at 16, ran dare stocks for a couple years, and then moved my way up into late models and was in the late models for a while, pretty content with that, and then got an opportunity to run an SK modified. And, the balls got rolling there and got into an SK modified and Whalen Tour, and I guess just the rest is history, just getting into anything with 4 wheels and a steering wheel at this point.
Yeah, you love it. It's obvious, and I've been watching you for years. And are you second now in all-time wins at Stafford Speedway?
Yeah, I've been second for a while here. It's been the past few years. I know last year people got closer, people had tied, but I'm still ahead by 1 or 2, I think, at this point. But these other guys that are behind me, they race weekly, and at this point with my family growing up and stuff and living a little over an hour away, it's just I just come for the open races, and the big races. So they have a little bit of advantage because they're racing weekly, but it is what it is. It's just cool to have that, to look at that. I don't ever really think about it. I'm pretty humble with it, but when you look at it, it's like, wow, to see the names that you're there with and that you're surrounding with is a pretty cool feat. So if we'll just try to keep winning races and keep it as high up as we can, and if we get past, so be it.
Yeah. Well, it's great. Again, to think about the only person that's won more than you is pretty legendary, Ted Christopher. So it's great talking to you, great catching up with you. Going to continue to follow your career, and wish you great success this weekend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm here with Turbo Tommy Butler, who's not only one of the most veteran drivers here at Stafford Motor Speedway, but was my A-team football coach back in the late 70s, early 80s, and also my boss when I worked for the Butler Group many years ago. One of the best carpenters in New England, if I have to say. Not so much for me, and that's why I'm no longer a carpenter. But anyways, it's great to see you again. You've been doing this for a little while now. So when did you start?
I ran my first race, which was back then was a street stock race, but it was really street cars with a cage in it, 1976. So I've been here for numerous years, we'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. But I really enjoy being here. This being a Sizzler. You wonder if when you get through the winter whether you can make it to that point, but I'm not ready to give this up, and I still feel like I can do the job. And I did talk to the crew. I said, hopefully if it did get to that point, you guys would let me know ahead of time that maybe you don't belong there, but I don't feel like that right now. So we're pretty excited right now today.
Yeah, it's fun. Again, it's fun watching. I come to a lot of races, and you're right there at the front of the pack all last year when I came here. And did you got a win? When was your last win?
We won June 16th of last year. It's a 27th or 28th win here, and I've won a race in 4 decades down here, so that kind of threw me off when I heard that. So that goes to show you, I guess I've been here longer than I thought.
That's amazing, though. It's awesome to have you. You're a great guy, a fan favorite, and I see you have. We just did a recent video ourselves from Off the Rails Brewing Company right in downtown Stafford. I understand you got an event coming up there on May 3rd.
We do. We got an event called Brews with the Crew. It's a Friday night where we actually have a week off this year after the Sizzler. So we're going to have a little gathering down there. Come down, have a beer with me and the guys, and the car is going to be there, and we'll have a few other things going on at 6 to 8 p.m. next Friday.
All right, make sure you make it out there. Tommy, continued success, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, we're here with Larry Vaughn from Stafford Sand and Gravel, and he does. I'll let him explain what he does himself.
Well, my rock quarry is Stafford Sand and Gravel, and I sponsor the Speedway. So we have a tow truck that goes out, and we tow all the cars off the track. We're the last guy that the drivers want to see because we're towing the carnage off the track and bringing them back in. I work with the safety team, me and my guys, and it's a group effort. We get the cars off the track as fast as they come on, keep the show rolling.
Absolutely. And how long have you been doing this now?
Been doing this is year number 4, working with Mark and the Arute family, and it's a good time. Friday nights, every Friday night.
Absolutely. And again, this has been a big part of our community for a long time, so it's nice to see them using local businesses, and we wish you continued success, and we'll see you out there. Hopefully you don't have to work too hard.
Yeah, well, the drivers don't want to see me at all, so it's all good.
I just want to give a big shout out to all the drivers we interviewed this weekend, and a special shout out to Stafford Motor Speedway and their Roots for allowing us here this weekend. And I want to thank everyone who participated in the Stafford Diaper Drive. It was a huge success. Thank you to Johnson Memorial, Stafford Library. A big shout out to Stafford Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Stafford Motor Speedway, and the Stafford Family Resource Center. So again, I want to thank you. If you have any ideas of things we should cover in summer Stafford, Union, and Woodstock, please reach out to me at my webpage, repvail.com, and go check out all things Stafford Motor Speedway at staffordmotorspeedway.com. And until next time, we'll see you behind the veil.